What's up, Internet? Welcome back to Sega Break. This is Linzer22. Sonic Frontiers is still a mystery. There's so many aspects of it, we have no idea what it's going to be like. So today I just wanted to sit back and relax and talk about something that I think this game probably doesn't 100% need, but I think it'd be really cool if it had, and that is multiplayer. Imagine this, Sonic Frontiers, battle mode. Boom, we have an online multiplayer mode where you can play with your friends. Now, how would that multiplayer mode look like? I have no idea. So let's take a look back at some of the old games with multiplayer. Going back to the first Sonic game that made me truly like the franchise, which is Sonic 2. Now, please don't scold me, I did like Sonic 1, but my first experience to Sonic the Hedgehog was actually this compilation pack that came with Sonic 1, 2, and Dr. Robotnik Mean Bean Machine. All three games are great, but when being that age, I played Sonic 2, and then going back to Sonic 1, I was thrown off of it that there was no spin dash, and I wasn't too happy about that. But I still enjoyed all three games on there. But that's not the point. The point I wanted to talk about was Sonic 2's multiplayer mode. Now, it's very minimum, and the music on there is different from the story mode, but it was a lot of fun. It was a mode that I could challenge friends to. It made Sonic 2 a game where if a friend came over, I can play with them in that game. Although you could also argue there is a cooperative mode, kind of, where your friend can control Tails, which, by the way, I thought nobody knew that. I thought I was the only person in the world that knew that, but that's beside the point. This mode was really fun, and it kind of stayed in Sonic's DNA for Sonic 3. We got another multiplayer mode. I don't like it as much because it's not from A to B. Instead, you have to go through a few laps, and I honestly don't like that method of playing a Sonic game. It just makes the levels feel old. If they're gonna do laps like that, I think I'm sorry, going on a tangent here. Because obviously this is a 3D game, multiplayer would be very different, but that's the multiplayer that was in Sonic 3. Now the multiplayer that was in Sonic Adventure, there was none, so that's when multiplayer went away for a bit. Although I think if you plugged in a second player, you can play as Tails. I feel like that's true. Not exactly sure. I need to go back and play and plug in a second controller. But honestly, I don't really have a GameCube hooked up for Sonic Adventure 1DX or a Dreamcast. And unfortunately, my Dreamcast that I own, the controller ports are broken at the moment, which is actually a fairly common issue. I've gone through like 3 or 4 different Dreamcasts with broken controller ports. I'm sure it's an easy fix, I just haven't done it. Then we get to Sonic Adventure 2. And at least the one I'm talking about is the one for GameCube. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. The multiplayer mode was awesome. It was one of those games that you had next to your GameCube when your friends came over. It's going to be a round of Smash, Smash Bros. Melee, and Sonic Adventure and Monkey Ball. I didn't have Monkey Ball, but I had a lot of friends who had Monkey Ball, and those 3 games were the 3 games I remember vividly a lot of people having next to their GameCube, and a lot of people playing them because of the multiplayer aspect. And you know what? The multiplayer on there was fun. It was great couch co-op fun, honestly. And then we get to Sonic Heroes, which had a multiplayer mode a lot like Sonic Adventure 2. In my opinion, it's just as fun. It's fine. It doesn't have the extra other multiplayer modes that the other games have, but I enjoyed it for what it was. And then we continue. I don't think Shadow the Hedgehog had multiplayer. I don't think Sonic 06 had multiplayer, although I might be wrong on that one. I know that Sonic Unleashed had no multiplayer. Sonic Colors? That one might have a multiplayer. I think it's with the different colored Sonics. I'm not exactly sure because I never played multiplayer on that version. Sonic Generations, once again, no multiplayer. And Sonic Forces, no multiplayer. Now, let's look back at some of the spin-offs. Not all of them, because I don't really want to get into all of them. But there is actually a specific Sonic game that's multiplayer that I specifically remember not liking because it had multiplayer as its core gameplay, and that is Sonic Rivals 1 and 2 for the PSP. Now, I had a PSP for a fairly short time. I mostly gamed on my DS, but when I had a PSP, I had Sonic Rivals. And I was excited to play it because I honestly never heard of it when it first came out. So when I got it, I was like, cool, a Sonic game I've never played. This has gotta be great. And I play it, and I don't like it. Now, I think it's because it's a game designed for multiplayer. And it does that thing that I mentioned about Sonic 3 that I didn't like, where you do multiple laps in a Sonic level. And the Sonic levels were kind of bare because obviously it's designed for racing. It wasn't my cup of tea. Now I look online and I see a lot of people actually do like that game. So I don't want to tell you right now that that game is trash, because clearly it's not if so many people like that game. So if you want to play a multiplayer game, Sonic game that's reminiscent of the Sonic 3 multiplayer mode, but built at it as its core mode, you might actually like this game. You should check it out. Now let's talk about a mobile app, okay? Now it's Sonic Boom, no, Sonic Boom. Sonic Rush? No, it's not Sonic Rush. Sonic Dash. Sonic Dash Sonic Forces. I don't think it's part 2. I think it's, you know what? I'm sorry. It's the Sonic Forces mobile game. That's what it is. Okay, there's a multiplayer mode on there where you can race there's 4 characters that are racing, or 4 people that are racing, and you guys attack each other, and you're on different, I guess, not planes, but different tracks, and you can bounce between each track. I'm sure you all played it. It's a free game on the phone. If you haven't played it and you're a Sonic fan, just check it out. I kind of noticed that people have been enjoying that game, so I think there's merit that people do want to play a multiplayer Sonic game. Now, if we look beyond the official games, there is a PC fan-made game called, I think, Sonic Battle Z, Sonic Battle something. I'm sorry if I'm getting his name wrong. I have never played it, but I have watched other people play it, especially in a multitude of like Sonic discussion videos. I will see them playing that in the background. It looks pretty interesting, it looks pretty fun, and I know that there was a community going on behind that. That's interesting. I think it might be a good idea for Sonic Team, or we know Sonic Team's not a real thing anymore, but whoever's working on the next Sonic game should probably be looking into an online Sonic mode, online multiplayer Sonic mode. And I think Sega might be thinking that themselves, because this has been stated before, but in an old, I don't want to say too old, it obviously came out in 2021, but there was an interview with Iizuka where he mentions that they've been toying around with open worlds and battle royale games. Now, battle royale is an online multiplayer game. I'd be interested to see what could possibly happen in a battle royale Sonic Frontiers game. I mean, I believe if you look at some of the leaks, we don't know if obviously if any of these leaks are true, but some of the leaks mention multiple islands. If that's the case, then you can think of those islands as like maps. Maybe there's 3 maps that you can use. Drop a bunch of Sonics, sorry, not Sonics, but Sonic characters. Maybe you'll get to use a custom character like in Sonic Forces. So you drop those custom characters onto a map and you all, I don't know, I'm not even sure what you would do. Would you fight? Would you race? Who knows? That would be interesting. I do know that from these leaks that we don't know if are true. So, of course, take all the speculation with a grain of salt, because none of this is probably gonna come true, but let's just talk about it. So it looks like there might be a type of, how do I say it, like attacking or something, like because it's been mentioned that this game seems button mashy in multiple leaks, and so I assume that either you attack with a homing attack like expected, or maybe he does punches and kicks or something like that. He does all these maneuvers. And instead of like a third person or a first person shooter, maybe it's like a third person 3D adventure game where you attack each other in some way. I don't know, maybe you play some sort of King of the Hill. I don't know, maybe some sort of online mode. Or if you look at who might be developing this game, it might be some of the people who have worked on Phantasy Star Online. Then maybe it's an online cooperative game. Maybe 4 different Sonic-esque characters are traveling the map, and they're taking on these big, tall, gigantic monsters, because that's been kind of leaked and shown in the trailer kind of. these titans that you're supposed to fight, these really big titans that are way bigger than Sonic. So maybe 4 people tag along and they play as like different characters, maybe their own custom characters, maybe one's Sonic, one's Amy, one's Tails, and one's Knuckles, and you all use your specific abilities to take down the Titan. I don't know. Honestly, I have no clue. But it'll be interesting to see what they actually do with this. Like I said, whether you believe this leaks or not, because I've heard that the Sakura Wars team is working on this, but then I've also heard the Phantasy Star Online team is working on this. And then I see that Sega opened a new studio, and the PSO guy in charge of that, he got put in charge of this new team who's going to work on their super game. So I don't know, a lot of movements have been happening, so who knows what's going to happen. I'm actually personally a little shocked that they don't have a dedicated Sonic team. I see that they have not a Sonic team, but in the US they have a team for Sonic's marketing, I think. Why wouldn't they have a team dedicated to designing Sonic games? I find that strange. Like, you'd think that they would invest in that, especially if this is supposed to be their biggest Sonic investment. Shouldn't they invest in a new Sonic team? Like, this is the Sonic team. Although I personally think they haven't had a Sonic team for quite a while, especially if you look through many of the credits. They keep switching out like a bunch of new people all the time. So it'd be nice to get some people who are sticking around for the Sonic team other than, Iizuka. Now, I'm not saying get rid of Iizuka, because I think he actually cares about the Sonic franchise, so obviously keep him around. Now, if they do go with like an online cooperative play, one thing I've mentioned in a previous video is not if anymore, because we already know that this is going to be an open world game. But since this is going to be an open world game, and we know that Sega has made the Yakuza games, which are not necessarily open world, but they're kind of sandboxy, if you know what I mean. Those games are dense, full of stuff to do, and I would love this Sonic Frontiers game to be dense with that same stuff. Now, I know what you're probably saying, like, make sure the Sonic game's good first. I totally agree with that. Like, just who cares about all this extra stuff? If the Sonic game is gold, that's all that matters. But let's look at hypotheticals and have fun with it. So if Sonic Frontiers was a lot like Yakuza, where there were things to do, there's like shops, there's when I'm thinking shops, I'm not necessarily thinking a city of Kamurocho, and that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is like maybe like huts or something like that, or mini games just kind of spread out through the world. Like, I don't know, maybe you run up to this thing that looks like a court, and you talk to some character there, and you start playing tennis or something, or a version of tennis that's not obviously tennis. I don't know. My point is, it'd be cool if there's a lot of things to do. And I mean, if you think about an open world, one thing that there is there's a lot of land to drive. Let's put a driving game in there. But anyways, sorry, I'm going off topic here. If they were to do the cooperative game, I think it'd be cool if you and your friends could also start messing around those mini games, start doing races and all that stuff. I think that'd be really cool, but a little unnecessary. Let's just make sure that this game's good, okay? Let's not get too carried away, because clearly I'm getting too carried away right now. So I guess in the order of priorities, first of all, I hope they make a solid single-player game, because me personally, I'm a single-player game type of person. I will play multiplayer games after I'm done with the single player that I'm into. I don't spend too much time on them. I do enjoy them. That's why I would like it if the Sonic game did have it. But I would want the single-player mode to be top-notch before they mess around with anything else. And then after that, then I would like to see a multiplayer mode. If they can't do it online, I maybe don't even bother. It's got to be online. Honestly, that's the world we live in right now. I mean, look, Facebook changed their name to Meta, so people are online now. People don't want to be offline. If you have a couch co-op mode as well, then that's totally fine. Then, if you have a solid single player, a solid multiplayer mode, bring in all that extra fluff. I mentioned this previously, but if you can work with the Yakuza team, because I believe how it works, as I mentioned in my previous video, the Yakuza team, I believe they outsource all the little mini games and other teams work on it. Or maybe a person on the Yakuza team is like really into, like, I don't know, poker, so he designed his own poker mechanic. If there was some way to bring those over to the Sonic Frontiers without putting too much work into it, other than obviously making new models that fit within the Sonic world, but they're probably using the same. I'm kind of getting in a little bit too technical here, but if they were able to just like literally just import all of that stuff into the Sonic Frontiers game, then I can see it actually happening and not being too bad. It still takes a lot of work. I don't want to make it sound like you can just literally copy and paste from one game to the other, because you literally would have to do a lot of translations. You would have to do a lot of extra work. And maybe I'm wrong and it would be a lot more easier just to build from scratch. But if they're totally able to, and it makes sense, and it can be done within reason, I like to see all that extra stuff to make it dense. And I think if they hit all three of those, actually, before that, I guess I was gonna say story, but I guess story is more part of the single player. So yeah, if they hit all three of those things, I think we might have a masterpiece on our hands. If they only hit the two first ones, we're gonna have a great game. We're gonna have a great game. If they only hit the first one, I'm satisfied. I don't know about you guys. Now, I want to hear what you guys think. Do you guys think it's gonna need a multiplayer, or are you guys gonna be okay with the single player? What do you guys think about all the extra stuff? Do you feel like that's unnecessary? Because I do kind of agree it's unnecessary, but it'd be pretty cool. Well, anyways, let me know your guys' opinions down below. And if you have some crazy idea of what you think the multiplayer will look like, or maybe may not look like, but you hope it does look like this particular way, please leave it down in the comments below. I like to read everyone's ideas. I like to see what would you like from it. And if you've played that fan game that I mentioned earlier, I think it's Sonic Battle or the online battle or something like that, let me know what you thought about it. What did it do right and what did it do wrong? And maybe that could tell us what Sonic Team is looking in for their multiplayer, if they even looked at a fan game. Well, anyways, I'll catch you guys next time. If you guys like Sega discussion videos much like this one, please feel free to subscribe, and I'll be back with more.